In the news for May the 1st, 2014. News you can trust and news you can sure tell other people about. Well, today, from American Now, there was a comment about a narcissist people. People who are narcissists display these four qualities. Number one, a narcissist person is very competitive. Number two, they do not like to be criticized or be told when you're trying to help them with, when you're trying to correct them on something, they don't take it very well. And number three, they always want to take away your individuality. If you're not narcissist, you might want to consider these four things in your relationship. According to American Now, as they were talking about in the segment today, that they can be very competitive. They always want to always be in the spotlight. That's number two. They always want to talk about their titles and achievements and always about themselves because they're in love with themselves. When you look at the word narcissist, the meaning comes from a Greek god that actually he was found because he was so in love with himself that nobody else could even have any groom. So they found his body where he was obsessed at looking at his reflection in a pool, as the legend goes, and they found him literally dead over that pool of water, looking at himself. Because he literally just starved to death because he wouldn't move from that spot because he was so engrossed and absorbed in himself. Number three, they're very competitive. And number four, they're controlling. They always like to have power over people and control. They enjoy that and crave that. And, they crave for comments, and they love self-indulgence, and they like to be self-centered and important in their life, and even are selfish. So these are the negativities of a bigger problem. It's not just the person is controlling. If they exhibit all these four characteristics, they are really a narcissist. Control is just one part of the problem. But all these three other qualities that we've mentioned, not taking criticism very well, always self-absorbed in what they're talking about, not allowing you to express your own visuality, and number four, always loving and having the power to enforce and to manipulate other people to do what they want them to do rather than letting people be able to have free will. That is what a narcissist is. So if you notice anyone that's like that, you may want to reconsider and choosing them for your love mate, or your partner or spouse, unless that's what you're into. But if you're not, you might want to reconsider the person who you're with. Also in the news, there was deadly tornadoes that went through Arkansas, Alabama, Oklahoma, Tennessee, and over 35 people out of all these four states that were mentioned were killed there in all four states combined, meaning a total of 35 people. Over 250 people were wounded, and there's some people that are missing in some of these areas. Arkansas was the worst hit of all. Had over 200 houses that were destroyed. And, out of that area, President Obama has declared Arkansas as the state of emergency. However, flooding continues to be a problem in some areas in Virginia and has caused considerable damage in some areas in Virginia, but not all states of Virginia is affected. However, there is flooding that will affect the James and impact the lives of the people around near the river or asked to stay out of the river while the waters are so foamy and murky. They look like a chocolate milkshake. As a news anchor, the weather person on one of the weather personalities on Channel 6 at 5 o'clock commented about what his daughter says, what the river looks like when it's really, when it's really not settled, and there's lots of large limbs and all, and they're asking people to stay out of the water, don't be on boats or anything in the James until this water calms down. It will probably reach below flood stage by Saturday morning and continue to go down from there. It's supposed to be nice though through the period, maybe with a chance of a shower or thunderstorm on Sunday and on Monday for the Mechanicsville area. But also, let's pray let's go back to the flooding and the fatalities. Let's pray for all the families that lost their children and loved ones in this last round of severe early on weather that was brought on. And let's pray for the families. And my heart and condolences go out to them at this time in prayer, as I hope yours do too as well. Also, we need to pray for Russia and Ukraine that this war does not continue to escalate, because it may get others superpower countries involved, because other countries around are getting a little around the two countries that are having a conflict are getting a little edgy, and it may actually spread to other countries. This may be the onset of what is known as World War III. So we need to pray that it does not get way out of hand. And a lot of people think that this is brought on by the elite globalists who have an agenda to cause world war and conflict and false flags all around the world so they can bring in this new government radical idea of the New World Order to have control, which really does make sense because you see a lot of evidences of a lot of fisheries and land grabbing all around the world, and lots of jobs, lots of businesses because of all the regulations that have been recently put in place over the last couple of years since 2008. Worldwide, you see a lot of it's a handprint at work. So, there may be a lot of truth to this, which I tend to believe so. There is. So anyway, freedom of speech still is an assault. Matter of fact, there was a guy named he's an owner of a team, and his team there happens to be made up of African Americans. I think African Americans are nice people, just like anybody else. But the thing is, this guy was caught saying some racial slurs and remarks to his, I guess, could still be his girlfriend or maybe ex-girlfriend now, because somebody got a hold of that video and now it got out, and now the AACP is trying to talk to the sports association leaders so that they can get him to sell his team, and Mr. Douglas will have to will actually probably make a cool $1 billion, $1.2 billion, even though he was fined for the remarks that he made. For the highest statute that they can do, according to the Sports Association, it was $2.7 million. Since he is worth over $1.3 billion, so that's like $2.70 in his pocketbook. So anyway, I hope he controls his mouth, and I hope he really has a readjustment, because Mr. Douglas, you really made a bad move, because they got you on tape, and what you said was true. It wasn't doctored up in any way, shape, and form. You said those things. They were racial, and you shouldn't have said them. Matter of fact, the people that were on those the team that he owns was threatening to boycott the weekend 3 scheduled games that were scheduled to play against 3 different teams if they did not get him to stay away from the company. He still stay away from the team. He still owns that team, however, but they just don't want him to be present at any of the games. And according to the rules, they can do that. And so, like I said, they're looking to find someone to buy that team from Mr. Douglas because of the comments they made. This is not something that the AACP wants, so that's why they're trying to get rid of this and try to get this thing expedited as quickly as they can, because it is bad publicity and it's not really helping the sports association when it comes to basketball, the Basketball Sports Association. So anyway, Mr. Douglas, you better keep your mouth shut when it comes to racism and racial slurs. This wasn't very good for you. Also, TechCrunch made a boo-boo. There were 2 reporters from, this is internet news, from grudge.com, where they made a TechCrunch that assumed that Google, because there was a guy that left Google, I think his name was Dan, I think. He left Google. We don't know why he left, but they assumed and said because they got it from a source, from 2 people, maybe a janitor and a trash man that works there at Google. They asked him they asked him if Google Plus may be closing, and of course, Drudge and TechCrunch took it as yes, according to RedLobster.com. And, of course, that was not true, because they have not plans to say that they were going to close down Google+. I know Google has a history of discontinuing products. For what reason? And they don't always give reasons, but they do. But as they were asked, they asked corporate, because in corporate sometimes there are plans that are revealed, and there's a lot of restructuring going on in the Google Plus department now. They had over 15,000 people that worked on Google Plus, but now they're shifting around. So I guess Drudge and TechCrunch took that to mean that they're going to scrap the G Plus social network media platform, but that wasn't true, because that is not true. Nobody knows, because when they called up an employee that works in the department for Google Plus, they said they denied all the allegations and did not even comment about it. So they said it wasn't true. And As far as where this information comes from, they have no idea. So don't worry about your social media. Until there's plans of them getting ready to cancel it or can it, only time will tell. That's for tech news. Also, there's a cyber alert for tech news. You know the app called Snapchat? Well, advise your kids and talk with all your teenagers about that app. It's a wonderful app because you can take selfies and take pictures of things and they just disappear. Well, also, child predators and other adult, gays and lesbians can also have access to your children. And the hint is, when you're on Snapchat, if you get a picture from somebody or if you get a comment from somebody, don't respond to it. If you don't recognize the contact of who it is, do not respond to it. And you won't have to see those pictures, those solicited pictures. The porn industry, along with other organizations, have found a way to traffic and may be used for crime to traffic children. So we want to give this out as a cyber alert at this time. Snapchat app is used. A lot of kids use it, and even college-age kids use it, and even adults use it. But mostly kids that are between the ages of 13 to 24 use it the most. And a lot of porno and traffickers and child porn and pedophilia and pedophilia and child predators know about this. So they may use that as a way to try to lure your children away and try to take them and get them smuggled into drug trafficking. So law enforcement, be on the alert for that. And Homeland Security and NSA, please be on the alert for that. And it's a possibility. Protect your family at all costs. Know what your children and who they're talking to with the app of Snapchat, just like any other app. And always make sure, if you don't recognize that person, like I said in the beginning, do not respond to them. And you won't have to worry about seeing that unwholesome or unadulterated or inappropriate content, because other users can have access to your child. Make sure you just instruct them about Snapchat and about how it works and about not to respond to people they don't recognize. Okay? So anyway, we have a lot of news going on. And, of course, there's bad news and there's some good news. New Hunter Church of Christ in Mechanicsville, Virginia needs $500 by May the 5th. Because they need it for bills. Not much donations came in this month. So if you could help out New Hunter Church of Christ, please send your donations to 7110 New Hunter Road, apartment 423, Mechanicsville, Virginia, 23111. If you would like to make a credit card donation, we accept all major credit cards. Please tell your friends and neighbors to make a donation, or maybe you can all pull together. It's a tax deductible, and it's a win-win-win. We are a for-profit entity, so please make your donations, and we can give you a receipt for your tax records. And it's a win-win-win, plus you get a little something back in return. If you give $20 or more, I will ship you out a 44-pack of wipes that are pre-lubricated. They're electronic wipes. We have a bunch of them here. We can order more as our way of saying thank you for helping us out. It has to be $20 or more because it's $5 shipping to ship it to you anywhere in the United States. If you're outside of the country, sorry, you can't take advantage of this, but we can still take your donations, though. And however, we really do need your support. Please subscribe down below so we can keep the news coming to you and keep the lights on and be able to keep the place where we're staying. Thanks a lot, and we really do appreciate those who do support and help us when they do. Have a nice day, and take care, and God bless. And I'll send you up an update tomorrow. See you then. Bye for now. Subscribe down below and tell us what you know. Subscribe. See you later.